Let us all try to be worthy of Aurobindo centenary.
Welcome all. Good evening all. ஸ்ரீ அரபிந்தோ சொசைட்டி சென்னை கிளையின் சார்பாக ஒவ்வொரு சனிக்கிழமை தோறும் நடைபெறும் இணையதள சத்சங்கத்தில் இணைந்திருக்கும் ஆன்மீக பெரியோர்கள், ஆன்மீக அன்பர்கள், அன்னை அன்பர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் ஸ்ரீ அரபிந்தோ சொசைட்டி சேர்மன் திரு சிவகுமார் அவர்களின் சார்பாகவும் மற்றும் நிர்வாகிகளின் சார்பாகவும் உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் எங்கள் பணிவான வணக்கங்கள். இந்த இளையதளத்தில் நம்மையெல்லாம் இணைத்து அன்னை அரவிந்தர் கருத்துக்களை சிந்திக்க வைத்திருக்கும் பகவான் ஸ்ரீ அரவிந்தருக்கும் அன்னைக்கும் எமது பணிவான வணக்கங்கள், நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்ளுகிறேன். இன்று நம்மிடையே உரை நிகழ்த்த இசைந்திருப்பவர் திருமதி அர்ச்சனா அவர்கள். ஹைதராபாத் ஸ்ரீ அரபிந்தோ சொசைட்டி கிளையின் நிர்வாக குழு உறுப்பினர், முன்னாள் பாண்டிச்சேரி யூனிவர்சிட்டியின் துணைவேந்தர் திரு வெங்கட சுப்பிரமணிய அவர்களின் கிராண்ட் டாட்டர். அவற்றை எல்லாம் விட அன்னை அரவிந்தர் நூல்களின் மிகவும் பரிச்சயமானவர். அவரின் ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி என்னவென்றால், the e-books generating e-portal, அதற்கும் மேலாக கூத்தா போல சாவித்ரி பெயிண்டிங் அவற்றில் தற்சமயம் ஈடுபட்டிருப்பவர். இவர் ஏற்கனவே நம்முடைய சத்சங்கத்தில் செப்டம்பர் 24 who the mother really is, ஸ்ரீ அன்னை என்பவர் யார் என்பதை பற்றி அருமையான கருத்துக்களை நம்மிடையே பகிர்ந்து கொண்டவர். இன்று நம்மிடம் அவர் பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள இருக்கும் தலைப்பு ஆஸ்பெக்ட் ஆஃப் பியூட்டி, அழகின் அம்சம். இந்த அருமையான தலைப்பில் அவர்களை உரையாற்றும்படி வேண்டிக் கொள்ளுகிறேன். மேடம், இட் இஸ் யுவர் டைம். ஓவர் டு யூ. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dhanashekharanji. It's really nice to be back here. Sorry, and Tamil avlo easy-ஆ மாதிரி நீங்களாம் பேசுற மாதிரி அவ்வளோ ஈஸியா வராது. So it's more comfortable in English. அங்கங்க I will try to include some Tamil. So thank you all. Ma Shri Aurobindo. So we'll talk about beauty today. The importance of beauty Mother and Shri Aurobindo has given. Shri Savitriல ரொம்ப நல்ல ஒரு லைன் இருக்கு. Beauty is his footprint showing us where he has passed. So நம்ம எங்கேயாவது பியூட்டி பார்த்தா it means that the divine has just crossed. He's just walked. He's touched that element. He's touched that physical. But if you see the flowers blooming, the mountains, the sky, எல்லாம் colors எல்லாம் பார்த்தா it just means that okay, the divine has just landed himself to manifest, and he's touched everything for us to see him. Beauty is his footprint showing us where he has passed. And there's one more beautiful line in the Mother. Shri Aurobindo describes Mahalakshmi aspect, full of harmony and full of beauty. Where she presses her feet, course miraculous streams of Ananda. So beauty irundale, it is obvious that Ananda is there. And generally, like if you just walk out and see a flower, instantly, like we'll have a smile on our face, our heart jumps, because we are in touch with that beauty. And there's one more beautiful quote. Actually, Shri Aurobindo says that the physical plane expresses itself through beauty. That's the way of the physical plane to express its gratitude to the divine through beauty. And on the mental plane, it is knowledge. The vital plane, it is power. Psychic plane, the divine is love. And the physical plane, divine is beauty. Generally, if we see people of different paths of spirituality, they won't give as much importance to beauty. Like, main aim is tapasya, concentration on the divine. I will just lock myself and be in a room, and I need any connection with beauty, and I don't want to appreciate anything. My main focus is the divine. I will just be in my meditation and amari. But that's not the point. Our whole yoga is actually bringing the divine into the very, very physical, and the divine is always ready to manifest in the physical. If we just also go to our ashram, we know every aspect is extremely beautiful. When you just walk in, you'll feel there are so many flowers, vidamana flowers, different colors. It brings so much joy. Like now, for December 5th darshanku, I've been to Pondicherry, and I'm sitting in the reading room anga. And all I could see in a reading room door lane, just layers of flowers, those pots which I've kept. It was extremely beautiful. Like one look, you can just see that beauty of flowers. There's nothing else. The door opens to the series of beautiful flowers. And if you go step little more in, you see the samadhi and how beautifully they decorate the samadhi. It's like every flower over there is filled with joy to be there, to serve Mother Sri Aurobindo. And once I had an opportunity to see how they arrange the samadhi, and I was thinking, even their movements were so beautiful. Like three, four people, they were dance, Mari, they were doing. Like if Krishna's in the center and the Gopikas are dancing so gracefully, beautifully, they are arranging the flowers like that. So, like, we are just surrounded, like, just being in Mother Sri Aurobindo's atmosphere. Enga patalum, they are just showing us beauty. And we know very Matri Mandir, how grand and beautiful, and the gardens of the Matri Mandir. Actually, Mother has said, Namari, we shouldn't be naming the gardens. Idudan garden of bliss, idudan garden of harmony, garden of consciousness. And the garden should be such to step in harmony kulla step in panna you feel harmony. Bliss kulla step in panna you can taste bliss. So it's like the beauty should just manifest that quality. The flowers, the significances which are part of those gardens should just carry it and just spread it in the air. So beauty, when the title vechundu, it shouldn't be that place should just evoke that much of beauty. Sri Aurobindo says in one place, in our yoga, to have a little sense of beauty is very good. So I think naturally, just being their children, we can recognize beauty everywhere. Like I was talking about another parts, they don't want to give importance to beauty. They want to focus on their own concentration and all. Sri Aurobindo says very beautifully, it is one of the greatest weapons of the Asura at work when you are taught to shun beauty. It has been the ruin of India. The divine manifests in psychic as love, mind as knowledge, and in the physical as beauty. If you discard beauty, it means that you are depriving the divine of this manifestation in the material. You are depriving the divine of this manifestation. Actually, it's like so powerful. Like we are depriving the divine. He's willing to manifest, but we are depriving him from manifestation. And in the aspect of Mahalakshmi, how Sri Aurobindo describes that she is all beauty, all harmony. If you have harmony and beauty in your thoughts, feelings, actions, Mahalakshmi is sure to manifest. Like harmony and beauty in every outward act and movement, harmony and beauty of life and surroundings. This is the demand of Mahalakshmi. Where love and beauty are not there, she's reluctant to be born. She does not come. In one more place, he says, keep the temple clean for the divine to manifest. Actually, like if you just do a little sadhana of just reading that Mahalakshmi aspect every day, naturally that sense of beauty and perfection, orderliness, and seeing divine in material things will naturally come. I've collected few quotes from reminiscences of some ashramites, just how being around the mother, just looking at her movements, her gracefulness. I'll just read out some. Preeti Das Gupta, she writes in her book Moments Eternal. The mother was showing us through her own example. Every little act of the mother revealed to us so many useful things that is impossible to describe in words. The way she talked, the way she looked, the freshness and beauty of every bodily movement beckoned us, as it were, towards some subtler world and transported us into streams of Ananda. Her look, her smile awoke celestial sense. Most of us, we had in our group, one or two were fortunate to have seen the mother and have definitely been in that magnificent, beautiful presence, her physical presence. Even otherwise, just to be her child, just to look at her image, her photo, how much of beauty just comes out from her. Champaklalji says, when he first saw the mother, I felt an extraordinary closeness to her and saw in her an embodiment of beauty. There are many sadhaks. Naraya per, like first impression of the mother, they had the sense of extraordinary beauty. This being doesn't belong to this earth. She's descended from far high above. And yes, with all her grace, she's come and touched us. And there was a point in the ashram, in the golden age of the ashram, which is generally called that 30s, 40s period, when Mother Shri Aurobindo were really focusing on the physical, bringing the light in the physical. So actually, there were sadhaks who was seen Mother at one point, and when the transformation of the physical was happening, seeing her, they felt she had looked extremely young, like 40. She was probably 60 or something. She was looking like she was a 20-year-old or something like that. Avlo young, avlo radiance, avlo charm. Yeah. And one more example of beauty we can see in the architecture. I already mentioned Matri Mandir, and many of you would have heard of Golconda. Golconda at this time was one of the architectural marvels. Yeah, maybe even now, the way it is constructed, the materials used, the temperature of Pondicherry will be pretty high, but there, like the materials, just the form of construction brings down the temperature. It is a completely different island of its own. And Mother has remarked that this is a place for serious and sincere sadhana. I like how people would go to the Himalayas and do their meditation. So Golconda is that cocoon for sadhana. And there she appointed Monadi, Udarda's wife, to look after all aspects of Golconda. And she saw in her that finesse and maintaining things, that cleanliness and hospitality, and she was just fit for that role. And she further trained few people to maintain that Golconda. Even now it is so beautiful, minimalistic, elegant. So there Sri Aurobindo comments on Golconda and how Mother has been working through Golconda. In Golconda, Mother has worked out her own idea through Raymond and others. First, Mother believes in beauty as a part of spirituality and divine living. Secondly, she believes that physical things have the divine consciousness underlying them as much as living things. Physical things have the divine consciousness underlying them as much as living things. Thirdly, that they have an individuality of their own and ought to be treated properly, used in the right way, not misused or improperly handled or hurt or neglected, so that they perish soon or lose their beauty or value. So every stone has been like put there with so much of consciousness and beauty. And this is one of the buildings where they didn't even use outside workers. It was all done by the sadhaks. So it was a labor of love which they manifested through Golconda. And come to the aspect of beauty in nature. I've already spoken little of flowers and what importance the mother has given. Even if you keep some flowers around your room, knowingly, unknowingly, they're just filling you with that beautiful vibration, the vibration of what the name Mother has given to them. So, in nature, actually, it's a flower which has the soul aspect. So, the psychic quality of material nature is in the form of a flower. Mother says they are prayers of the vegetal world. Plants offer their beauty to the Supreme. The flowers indicate an opening, usually psychic, in some part of the consciousness. So when you have flowers in your dreams, Sadhak used to write to Sri Aurobindo, what does this mean? So he'll say, okay, that means your psychic is opening, the soul element is awake. And flowers are extremely receptive. All the flowers which I have given a significance receive exactly the force I put into them and transmit it. So through the flower, there's a beauty of form, the color, the fragrance, and all the significances which Mother has given. It is based on mostly on the fragrance, the sweet fragrance of every flower. In Savitri, there are beautiful lines on nature, flowers. I'll just read some of them. Sri Aurobindo describes about spring. There's a portion just before Savitri's birth. Uh, Sri Aurobindo talks about the seasons. So he talks about spring. Here it goes. Then spring, an ardent lover, leaped through leaves and caught the earth bride in his eager clasp. His advent was a fire of irised hues. His arms were a circle of the arrival of joy. Spring. His arms were a circle of the arrival of joy. In one more place, he talks about jasmines and mango blossoms. Ashokas burned in crimson spots of flame, pure like the breath of an unstained desire. White jasmines haunted the enamored air. Pale mango blossoms fed the liquid voice of the love maddened koel, and the brown bee muttered in fragrance mid the honey buds. Pale mango blossoms fed the liquid voice of the love maddened koel, and the brown bee muttered in fragrance mid the honey buds. The sunlight was a great god's golden smile. All nature was at beauty's festival. All nature was at beauty's festival. This description just brings that scene right in front of you, like the jasmines in the air, mango blossoms, the koel has drunk the nectar, the brown bee is muttering. So beautiful, and sunlight is the golden smile, great God's golden smile. And many places Sri Aurobindo's use this word, brings in koel. I think it's one of his favorite birds. So beautiful. And Mother, in one of her prayers in Japan, she talks about the cherry blossom tree and the very delicate white and pink little flowers and the tree at the specifica Marchler and early springler. It is seen in Japan in many places. So Adipati, once she's in the gardens looking at the trees, and she connects so closely with that tree, and she writes in her prayers that day, I became suddenly the cherry tree. My volume is low, is it? Okay, I'll speak a little louder. I suddenly became the cherry tree itself, stretching towards the sky Like so many arms, its innumerable branches, laden with their sacrifice of flowers. In truth, there is none. The consciousness which animates them is identically the same. Then the cherry tree whispered in my ear, it is in the cherry blossom that lies the remedy for the disorders of the spring. Just imagine that she's completely one with the cherry tree, lifting its branches, spreading its branches. And the message of the cherry tree it is, I'm here as a remedy for the disorders of spring. Extremely beautiful. And one more occasion, when mother used to go for vegetable darshan, they used to be in ashram fruit darshan, vegetable darshan. So எல்லா fruits produceலாம் வந்து will be kept in one place. Mother will have a look at it and then it will proceed to wherever it has to. And even I don't remember exactly, but once, is it in ashram or somewhere else, I'm not sure. But once she was just walking in the garden, full of vegetables, and these vegetables, the soul of the vegetable, if mother used to pick one, it would say, I'm not ripe yet. No, use me later. No, no, not today. Don't pick me. And there'll be others. I'm ripe. I'm waiting to be serving you. Pick me, pick me. Like she'll hear so many voices of that whole nature, like talking to her. Really beautiful. And mother being spent like few years in Japan, she talks about that country wherein the people had such immense sense of beauty. She says Japan is essentially the country of sensations. She lives through her eyes. Beauty rules over her. In the physical, they have a spontaneous sense of beauty. For example, a thing one sees very rarely in Europe, but it's seen constantly in Japan. Very simple people, men of working class or even peasants, go for rest or enjoyment to a place where they can see a beautiful landscape. Very simple people, working class, or if they have some leisure time, they go and find beautiful landscapes. This gives them much greater joy than going and playing cards or indulging in any other distractions like they do in countries of Europe. They are seen in groups at times, going on the roads, or sometimes taking a train and tram, or walking to such places to get beautiful views. Then at this place, there is a small house which fits very well into the landscape. There is a kind of small platform on which one can sit. One takes a cup of tea and at the same time sees the landscape. For them, this is the supreme enjoyment. They know nothing more. One can understand this among artists, educated people, learned people. But I'm speaking of the most ordinary class, poor people who better be resting or relaxing at home. This is for them the greatest joy. Like the very soil, the people had a very natural sense of beauty and appreciation for beauty. It's really beautiful. Now we'll talk about, like I already mentioned a little bit, how we can manifest beauty in the most physical things. How can we look after, like what guidance Mother Sri Aurobindo have given us, how to bring out that divine inside all the small, small things which we use in our daily life. how to treat them divinely, how to treat them with care. Mother says, if you go, if you went into a house and found furniture and ornaments all topsy turvy, scattered about, covered with a layer of dust, you would exclaim, "What dirt and disorder!" For dirt itself is nothing but disorder. For dirt itself is nothing but disorder. There is a place for dust in the world, but not on the furniture. There is a place for dust in the world, but not on the furniture. Sometimes I feel the furniture and all, they're waiting to express the divine, but we allow the dust to be there. We don't allow them to be beautiful. Like there's somewhere in our consciousness, we are not helping it also in a way to reach out to the divine. So beautiful, clearly she says, there's a place for dust in the world, but not on furniture. And again she says, the most insignificant thing must be done with perfection, with a sense of cleanliness, beauty, harmony, disorder. I remember one instance from ashram. மதர் பால்கனியில் லைக் நிறையா காக்காலாம் வந்துன்னு போயின்னு இருக்கும். ஸோ அதோட ட்ராப்பிங்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ ஷீ டென்ட் ரியலி டெல் சம்படி கோ கிளீன் இட். ஸோ ஒன் டே மதர் ஹர் செல்ஃப் ஷி கோஸ் அண்ட் கிளீன்ஸ் தட் பிளேஸ். உடனே சம்படி ஹர் அசிஸ்டன்ட் சம்படி கேம், மதர் you shouldn't be doing this, I will do. So mother said at that time, you don't know, my child, how much of people's mind, how much filth and dirt in their mind of human race that I have been cleaning. This is nothing. I'm doing so much of work for the human race. How much of that I'm taken upon myself and I'm cleaning it. So this is not a big thing. In another place she says, even an outer cleaning should be a symbolic gesture of your aspiration to clean your suffering, cleaning yourself of ego. So the first thing to do is to look straight at this suffering, perceive to what an extent it is an expression of a very petty egoism, then sweep the place clean. Make a clean ground and say, I don't want this dirt. I'm going to clean my inner chamber. So whenever we are having thoughts of the lower nature, getting pulled and being very egoistic, we can just remember this. I don't want this suffering. I don't want to live in this ego. I want to sweep it clean. Sri Aurobindo says, clean the temple, clean your inner space for the divine to manifest, like that. So let the cleaning be a symbolic gesture to clean your thoughts. Our thought is a dwelling place that we can, if we choose, make it clean, sweet, serene, full of harmonious notes. But we can also make it into a dark and dreadful liar, filled with mournful sounds and discordant cries. We all have the choice. We can leap up to the higher choice, right? Fill it with clean, harmonious, sweet, beautiful things. Mother says in one place, when you have depressed, feeling low, don't be sucked into it. Always look up, even like the very gesture put your neck up, look up to a higher space. So instantly that suffering will go. We have like natural ways. Just open your window, look out at the sky, look out at the sun, hear the bird chirp. Instantly it pulls you out from whatever low feeling you have. I was trying to get this quote. You must keep the temple clean if you wish to install there the living presence. You must keep the temple clean if you wish to install there the living presence. And how Mother literally took such good care of little things. One instance is there. Mother was using one handkerchief. ரொம்ப யூஸ் பண்ணி மாதிரி நிறைய இடத்துல வந்து பேட்ச் ஒர்க்கா இருந்தது. She got it stitched. No, but still she folded it using it. Then somebody asked her, Mother, why don't you discard this? There are so many other good handkerchiefs which you can use. She said, this has served me with so much love. I will not discard it. So, like that, so delicately, like how we would care for a living object, Mother would care for these inanimate things. I remember one more instance. I think for Harpagam, Udarda was going and selecting wood, and then I think Mother also was there in the car. I'm not able to place it exactly, but when Udarda selected one particular thing, Mother said, "Don't take it." அது பக்கத்துல இன்னொன்னு வந்து it wants to be used. This wants to be used. Take it. I think it was to make Sri Aurobindo's bed or something of some kind of furniture in his room. This is ready to serve Sri Aurobindo. You take this. So that was finally chosen. So all these material things are silently telling us, a lot of beautiful things. She talks in terms of how to use material things. There is a kind of respect for the object one has, which must make one treat it with much consideration and preserve it as long as possible. Not because one is attached to it and desires it, but because the object is something respectable, which has sometimes cost a lot of effort and labor in producing, and so must as a result be considered with respect due to the work and effort put into it. You don't treat it well because you desire it or you're attached to it, because of that object has come into existence because of the hard work, love, and labor into it. She says the divine is in things also, and that is why they must be treated with care. Many of you would have gone to Sri Smriti. So how Mother has kept so many beautiful things from her Japan days and all the gifts that Sadhak gave, minutest things. There are relics also with Mother Sri Aurobindo's hair and teeth. And when I was there last time, they showed me ribbons. Summer time ரொம்ப ஹாட்டா இருக்கும் போது Sri Aurobindo used to have long hair, so they used to tie his hair with ribbons so that it doesn't fall on his neck and it's not very sweaty. So all of that has been preserved so beautifully, like up Mary doesn't, it's not lost form or color or anything, just looks intact and beautiful. She says not to take care of material things is a sign of inconscience and ignorance. There is so much to learn Sometimes just we go around things so mechanically in such a routine way, without thinking about the consciousness, without invoking, without remembering. Yeah, so we should really always call, remember in whatever little insignificant things we are doing also. So how can we actually beautify our spaces? We can take a lot of hints from the ashram. We can keep flowers, or we can just walk around. If they have access, walk around the gardens, streets, look at the trees, flowers. Just you can just meditate with the flower, go deep into it. Sometimes we'll just see few colors just with the casual look, but when you keep the flower in the hand, you will see layers and layers of beauty in it, different colors which you're not seen in the first instance. We can keep some flowers in our home, and we know that ashramla ella departmentலயும் there are these gorgeous vases of flowers. First thing in the morning you'll see everybody collecting the flowers, arranging them, just to bring that sense of serenity and beauty. And so many of these flowers used to even communicate with mother. Once Parichanda was a gardener in the ashram. He was going to cut some rose, which was part of the courtyard, and mother instantly got to know the rose plant called to her, "I'm going to be cut." So she literally walked as fast as she could and stopped Parichanda. "You shouldn't be doing this. This rose is communicating to me. Leave it the way it is." We also know about Matrimanda's banyan tree, right? The last time we spoke about it. The soul of the tree came to her and said, "They are planning to cut me, mother. Please don't." And it didn't. Finally, it's there where it is, spreading its beautiful branches everywhere. And mother specifically told about hibiscus flower, the red flower, I think, the red hibiscus, how very, very conscious. I think generally the hibiscus flowers are among the flower kinds are more conscious. Some simple things we can do, like light an incense stick. Basically, Sri Aurobindo said incense stick is a symbol of self-consecration. And we're not doing it ritualistically, we are doing it, let my fragrance reach to you, you fill me with your fragrance, let your beauty fill this universe, something to that extent. You can light a lamp. Mother says correcting an ignorance is like eliminating darkness. You light a lamp, the darkness disappears. So again, while lighting the lamp, you're saying all the dark parts in me should just vanish, and only your love should fill it, ma, like that. And we can, through music, like mother has given us so many aids, so many simple ways to connect to her, and her organ music, her Savitri reading. We can always have it in the background playing. It's really transforms the place. I have one of my friend. She has like a habit. எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் mother's music, organ music, continuously just plays in her house 24/7. And recently, வந்து சொசைட்டில பாண்டிச்சேரி சொசைட்டில she's working. And அங்க வந்து ஒரு புது building they just got allotted. So there the building was not used for many days, கொஞ்சம் run down இருந்தது and all. So 2-3 days she played mother's music in that place. And the fourth day, that energy was completely different. There was much lightness, the heaviness had gone, the space was just feeling more free. It was breathing much better than before, Annamari. So has such small, small, beautiful aids so easily accessible to us to connect to her beauty. And the smallest things when it comes to food, the way we arrange our plate, the way we eat, like we chew properly, the gestures. Mother talks about the gesture, beautiful movements, the gestures. Yes, it's so important, and how so unconsciously we do so many things. Once, when she's walking in Paris, she remarks, she sees a lady walk and she says, "This is the most beautiful walk I've ever seen." So, to that extent, mother notices anything which is beautiful, she can, trace it. So, it's not only about beauty of physical things, beauty of surroundings, it is also about beauty of thought, beauty of feeling. Like we are speaking about the thoughts, how all the egoistic thoughts can be just swept away. To think constantly of the harmony of the body, of the beauty of the movements, of not doing anything that is ungraceful and awkward. You can obtain a rhythm of movement and gesture which is very exceptional. Think constantly of the harmony of the body, the beauty of the movements. Simple thing is just lifting a glass of water, trying to be conscious, harmony, be in rhythm. Don't just do it fast, quickly, or spill water, or like that. And she talks about some artists. They generally have very deep sense of beauty, right? And they work in a very clean spaces. They produce such beautiful art pieces. So mother talks about this one particular artist. So when he was in his studio and in his working space, he was very meticulous. Everything was orderly. Everything was beautiful around him. But when he came into his family, atmosphere, living by himself, like this, living the ordinary way and not being an artist, that time he was very crude and his movements were very ordinary, very rash. So we should allow those beautiful moments to carry us every time. In space தான் நான் இப்படி இருப்பேன்னு இல்லை, like every time, like we should be the beauty, we should be that harmony. In this context, you all will know that mother, how much she focused on Huta and made her paint such beautiful creations. Whole of most of Savitri lines she's painted. And mother has actually told her, like, I'm making your hands conscious. I'm training your hands to bring down the beauty. She's actually said, I can bring down those those beautiful worlds, the highest consciousness, but it's going to take a lot of time. So through your paintings, by training you, through Savitri, I'm going to get those worlds down to the earth. I'll read those lines. I have seen the beauties and wonders of the higher worlds. Now I think of expressing them in painting by various colors, blues, golds, pinks, and whites, with certain vibrations of light, all in harmony, forming the new world. I wish to bring down upon earth this new world. Since I have no time physically, I will paint through you. So we just allow, surrender, let her paint us. Be that open canvas. Let her paint beautiful creations through us. So I'll end with few lines of the mother. Let beauty be your constant ideal, the beauty of the soul, the beauty of sentiments, the beauty of thoughts, the beauty of the action, the beauty in the work, so that nothing comes out of your hands which is not an expression of pure and harmonious beauty. Let beauty be your constant ideal, the beauty of the soul, the beauty of sentiments, the beauty of thoughts, the beauty of action, the beauty in the work, so that nothing comes out of your hands which is not an expression of pure and harmonious beauty. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful speech, the valuable, wonderful, excellent words of the mother and Sri Aurobindo regarding the beauty. உங்க பேச்சை கேட்டு நாங்கெல்லாம் அழகாவே ஆயிட்டோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Wonderful beauty, beautiful words. Thank you so much. யாராவது அன்பர்கள் கேள்வி ஏதாவது சந்தேகம் இருந்தால் கேட்கலாம். இல்லை என்றால் we will consolidate her speech and we will come to a conclusion. If anybody have any doubts, you can ask please for few minutes. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Who wants to say
Sir,
something?
MK sir கை ரைஸ் பண்ணிருக்காரு சார். MK sir.
Yes,
MK.
sir, welcome. Sir, welcome, sir.
Archana's style of speaking is such that she uses extremely ordinary words: rude, crude, dust, dirt. But she places those words in, again, ordinary sentences in such a manner and in such a position that even those words, as conveyed, look very beautiful. That is her very remarkable style of speaking. And she gave a very hitherto unmentioned explanation, not widely mentioned. It must have been mentioned, not widely mentioned and known, explanation for those 469 paintings which Huta did on Savitri passages. See, Archana pointed out that mother wanted to bring down the beauty of various different colors and their brightness and their harmony into the world. But since doing it in a physical manner was extraordinarily difficult and time-consuming, she thought of painting those colors in such harmony and assembly through Huta's hands, and the result is those 469 paintings, which today the Savitri Bhavan has very gracefully allotted a huge hall so that it is probably like a living exhibition, permanent exhibition. Beauty is the truth, not what Vedas say, more than what Vedas say, Upanishads say, a simple beauty in appearance, in looks, in gesture, in behavior, in words, I think God lives there. She conveyed that sense to us today, and we are extremely grateful to her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful comments. So, in a glimpse, her speech. So, beauty அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொன்னாவே மகாலட்சுமியோட அம்சம்தான். பொதுவாகவே நாம் எல்லாமே பெண்களை தான் வந்து பியூட்டி, மகாலட்சுமி போன்ற அழகு வாய்ந்தவள் அப்படின்னு வந்து சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ ரியலி மகாலட்சுமி இஸ் அ பியூட்டி. அப்புறம் மாத்ரி மந்திர் அழகை பற்றி தாங்கள் மிகவும் தெளிவாக அழகாக விளக்கினீர்கள். த பியூட்டி மேனிஃபெஸ்ட் இன் நேச்சர், இயற்கையில வந்து எப்படி அழகு மிளிர்கிறது என்ற ஒரு கருத்தை வந்து அழகாக வந்து சொன்னீங்க. இன் மைண்ட் the beauty எப்படிலாம் வந்து மேனிஃபெஸ்ட் ஆகுது, இன் மைண்ட் as knowledge, in physical as beauty. அந்த பியூட்டி வந்து எப்படிலாம் மேனிஃபெஸ்ட் ஆகுதுன்றத வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து தெளிவாக நீங்கள் கூறினீர்கள். அடுத்தது அந்த முக்கியமான சிந்தசிஸ், அந்த மதர் புக்ல இருந்து வரக்கூடிய சாப்டர் 6ல இருந்து வரக்கூடிய ஒரு அருமையான வரி, where she presses her feet cause miraculous ஆனந்தா, அவளது மலரடிகளை ஊன்றிய இடமெல்லாம் அற்புத பரவச ஆனந்த ஓடைகள் பொங்கி பாய்கின்றன அப்படின்ற ஒரு வரியை, இது எல்லாருக்கும் நம்முடைய அன்னை அன்பர்கள் அனைவருக்குமே மிகவும் பரிச்சயமான வரிகள். ஏன்னா மிகவும் பிடித்த வரிகள். இந்த வரிகளை நம்ம தியானமே செய்யலாம். அந்த வரிகளை மிகவும் அழகாக நீங்கள் கோடிட்டு காட்டினீர்கள். அடுத்தது வந்து 1940s வந்து பிசிக்கல் மதர் வந்து 50 இயர்ஸ்ல எப்படி வந்து 20 இயர்ஸ் கேர்ள் மாதிரி இருந்தாங்க அப்படின்ற வந்து ஒரு அது. ஏன்னா அவங்க ஃப்ரெண்டே ஜப்பான்ல இருந்து வந்த அவங்களுடைய ஃப்ரெண்டே வந்து பார்த்துட்டு ஆர் யூ த ஓல்டு மீரா அப்படின்னு அவங்களே ஆச்சரியப்படும்படி வந்து அன்னை அழகாக மாறி இருந்ததை வந்து ரொம்ப அழகா எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் ரிமைண்ட் பண்ணீங்க. ரொம்ப நன்றி மேடம். அடுத்தது கோல்கொண்டாவை பத்தி அந்த ஆர்கிடெக்சர் பியூட்டி, உண்மையிலே ரியலி மார்வலஸ். வி ஆர் லக்கி டு ஹேவ் விசிட் லாஸ்ட் டிசம்பர் 5th we had a visit in கோல்கொண்டா. ஸோ அது வந்து உண்மையிலே we enjoyed it. ஸோ அடுத்தது பியூட்டி இன் நேச்சர். ஸோ அந்த வெஜிடபிள் கிங்டம், அன்னை எப்படி காய்கறிகளை அந்த செடி கொடிகள் கூட மதர் எப்படி உரையாடினார்கள் என்ற ஒரு நல்ல கருத்தை எல்லாரும் வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் சிந்திக்க வேண்டிய ஒரு கருத்தை வந்து சொன்னீங்க. அடுத்தது வந்து ஜாஸ்மின் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ், மேங்கோ பிளாசம்ஸ், மதர் அந்த பிரேயர்ஸ் அண்ட் மெடிடேஷன்ல நான் செரி மலர்களாகவே மாறிவிட்டேன், செரி மரமாகவே மாறிவிட்டேன் அப்படின்ற ஒரு அற்புதமான வந்து ஒரு பிரேயரை வந்து எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் ஞாபகப்படுத்தினீர்கள். மிக்க நன்றி மேடம். அடுத்தது dirt is nothing but is a disorder. Dirt is nothing but disorder. அழகுக்கு வந்து ஒரு இடைஞ்சல் எதுன்னா அந்த அழகு. அதனால ரொம்ப கிளீன் அண்ட் நீட்னஸ் எப்படி மதர் வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் வந்து வற்புறுத்தினாங்க, அதனுடைய இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ், ஆர்டர்லி மெயின்டெனன்ஸ், கிளென்லினஸ் வேர் காட் லிவ்ஸ் அப்படின்ற ஒரு அருமையான கருத்தை எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் வந்து சொன்னதுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. இப்படி பல அருமையான கருத்துக்கள். ஸோ அந்த அந்த ஹேண்ட் கர்ச்சிப்பை பத்தி ஒரு குறிப்பு சொன்னீங்க. அது தீந்து போன நிலையிலும் மதர் வந்து அதை கைவிடவில்லை. ஏன்னா அதன் கூட இவ்வளோ நீண்ட நாள் நான் தொடர்பு வைத்திருந்தேன். ஸோ அந்த மெட்டீரியல் திங்ஸுக்கு எவ்வளவு நாம் மரியாதை கொடுக்க வேண்டும். இந்த மெட்டீரியல் நாம் பயன்படுத்தக்கூடிய இந்த மெட்டீரியல் திங்ஸுக்கு நாம் மரியாதை கொடுக்கலனா we have no right to use them. Wonderful words மேடம். ஏன்னா அந்த நாம் பயன்படுத்தக்கூடிய ஒவ்வொரு பொருளிலும் இறை அம்சம் இருக்கிறது. நாம் அதுக்கு மரியாதை கொடுக்கலனா we don't have the right to use them அப்படின்ற ஒரு நல்ல வந்து அருமையான கருத்தை சொன்னீங்க. பிறகு மலர்கள், மலர்கள் சொல்லவே தேவை. மலர்னாவே மதர் தான். ஸோ she is the beauty of flowers. அவளுடைய சிரிப்பே வந்து புன் சிரிப்பே, ஸ்மைல் is the beauty of the flowers. அந்த மலர்கள் மலர்வதே வந்து அன்னையினுடைய சிரிப்பு தான். ஸோ ஷி லவ்ஸ், ஷி இஸ் த லவர். ஏன்னா 1000 மலர்களுக்கு மேல அந்த மலர்களுடைய பியூட்டியை நமக்கு கொடுத்துருக்கிற அந்த சொன்னீங்க. இது எல்லாத்துலயும் மதர் வந்து இந்த ஹைபிஸ்கஸ், வெரைட்டி ஆஃப் ஹைபிஸ்கஸ். ஸோ இந்த ஆரோவில் மலர்கள் கூட ஹைபிஸ்கஸ் தான் மதர் சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. வாட் எவர் பி த ஹைபிஸ்கஸ், தேர் இஸ் எ பியூட்டி, எனர்ஜி, பவர் அப்படின்றத வந்து சொன்னீங்க. நாங்க எல்லாரும் வந்து அதை பயன்படுத்துறோம் கண்டிப்பா. அடுத்தது கடைசியா வந்து ஆங்கிலத்துல வந்து நல்ல வரிகளை நம்ம ஐயா எம்கேஆர் அவர் வந்து சொல்லிட்டாரு. பியூட்டி இன் தாட்ஸ், பியூட்டி இன் ஒர்க்கு, பியூட்டி இன் வேர்ட்ஸ், பியூட்டி இன் ஃபீலிங், பியூட்டி எவ்ரிவேர், பியூட்டி இன் அவர் ஆல் ஆஸ்பெக்ட். அதுதான் வந்து கடைசியாக இறுதியான வரிகள். லெட் பியூட்டி பி யுவர் கான்ஸ்டன்ட் ஐடியல், வண்டர்ஃபுல் தாட். ஸோ இறுதியாக நம்முடைய சிந்தனை அழகானால் சொற்கள் அழகாகும், சொற்கள் அழகானால் நம்முடைய வார்த்தைகள் அழகாகும், நம்முடைய வார்த்தைகள் அழகானால் செயல்கள் அழகாகும், செயல்கள் அழகானால் நம்முடைய வாழ்க்கையே அழகாகும் என்ற தமிழ் ஆக்கத்தை நீங்க ஆங்கிலத்துல வந்து சொல்லிட்டீங்க. அது எல்லாருக்கும் புரியும்படி நானும் சொல்லிட்டேன். A wonderful speech you have given. Thank you so much, madam. Please do come often. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் எங்களுடைய மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். இப்பொழுது பிரார்த்தனை இசையுடன் நம்முடைய நிகழ்ச்சி முடிவுக்கு வரும். நன்றி.
Let us all try to be worthy of Aurobindo's centenary.
அன்னை அரவிந்தருக்கும் நன்றி, அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி.